Welcome to We the People, a new birth of freedom. I suggested in a previous video that 10% of our elected representatives are true American patriots, true American statesmen and women who love this country, love this nation, love the United States of America, and deeply love the American people, and would give their lives in defense of our Charter of Liberty, which includes the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, and the Bill of Rights. Another 10%, well, they're wolves in sheep's clothing. They love to be identified as an American. They love the idea of being an American. But they're posers. They're American posers. They love the freedom, the liberty, the means that they can acquire vast wealth and power through political processes. But they're wolves in sheep's clothing because the only power they're concerned with, the only liberty they are concerned with, their whole agenda is built around how much power they can accumulate in order to control your freedom and liberty and pursuit of happiness and your justice. That's the only power they're concerned with. The other 80%, well, they wish they could be true Americans. They know it's right. They know it's the truth. They know it's superior to any form of government on the face of the earth. But they just don't have the backbone, the commitment, the fortitude, the conviction, the courage because of political pressures. Political peer pressures are just too strong for them to stand up and defend what they know to be the truth. Truth. I read a quote one time. It said, "There is nothing so powerful as truth, and often nothing so strange." You see, the truth that's contained in the Declaration of Independence, the Constitution, and the Bill of Rights, for many elected officials, those truths that are connected to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness and justice, those truths that come by the law of nature and nature's God, is a foreign language to many in the political parties in this nation. It's still a foreign language after nearly 2.5 centuries. It's a foreign language. You might as well be speaking in a foreign tongue because they still don't understand the simplistic characteristics of truth, life, liberty, justice, and the pursuit of happiness. They do not understand the characteristics and the language that goes with those principles. The only language that they understand is that which is politically legislated, political jargon, political bullshit. That's the only language they understand. And that's why, since the days of slavery, at the inception of this nation, that's why those that call themselves Democrats, not all, there are some absolute true Americans that's in the Democratic Party. Just like there are some absolute genuine Americans in the Republican Party, the Independent Party, the Libertarian Party. But many of those Democrats still resist the sovereign freedom, the sovereign liberty that is intrinsic in the individuals that make up We the People. Since the inception of this nation, they have fought that liberty, and that's why they did not want to see slavery end. They fought against it. It caused a civil war. Gallons and gallons and barrels of blood was shed on the battlefield so that men and women and children could truly experience life, liberty, justice, and the pursuit of happiness. They hated it. They fought it. They wanted to maintain control. They did not want the power to be in the hands of sovereign individuals. But you see, truth is fundamental. It's not incidental. Life, liberty, justice, and the pursuit of happiness is not incidental. It's fundamental. It's intrinsic. It's axiomatic. It's intrinsic. It's inherent within us. We're born with it. It's in our biology. It's not peripheral. It's primary. It's not secondary. It's supreme. And this is what politicians hate. They do not want you to experience the truth of a self-sovereign, free individual. Because in doing so, they can't manipulate you. They can't control you. Now, as I've said before, true liberty has accountability and responsibility. It understands liability. That is true liberty. It's not anarchist in its agenda. It understands the very governing constitution built within our own biology. I've given several examples before about breathing, eating, walking, being able to see, being able to talk. These are born within us, being able to protect ourselves. They're inherent within us. They're axiomatic. They're actualities. Being able to breathe is an actuality. No government power can control that. Now, they can warn you to not breathe certain things, and if you violate that warning, that law of nature, you'll get sick and die. Freedom, liberty, life. Those are self-evident truths. When Thomas Jefferson penned those words, he did not say, we hold these truths to be self-appointed by political parties. He did not say, we hold these truths to be devised, legislated by a Supreme Court's decision and determination and definition. It's not what he said. We who? We the people, individuals, hold these truths to be self-evident. That means it's self-sovereignty. It's within us. After 2.5 centuries nearly, politicians still cannot understand that simplistic yet profound and powerful language. But see, the reason they don't want to accept that is because they didn't shed their blood for nobody. Now, let me rephrase that. There are many in both parties that have been in war. They've seen war. But I'm talking about the politicians that have selfish agendas. Maybe they did serve time and they still have selfish agendas. I don't know. It's totally impossible for me to know that. However, in the early days, in the inception of this nation, gallons and gallons and gallons and gallons and barrels of blood was shed on the battlefield. The War of Independence, nearly 10 years. Had that not happened, and had it not been won, we wouldn't be having that conversation right now. We wouldn't be enjoying this nation right now as we do. And I know much has been said about firearms, guns, the right to bear arms, but let me tell you something. This nation won its liberty and independence because of firepower. It was not because of political negotiations. It was on the field, the battlefield of blood and guts. Men and women who were willing to sacrifice everything they had for the cause of life, liberty, justice, and the pursuit of happiness. And either some politicians have forgotten that, some never experienced that, or some just don't care. They need to care. You see, President Obama, he's a sincere man. He had good intentions. He still does. You know, he's jumped back on the platform. He's campaigning, wanting the Democrats to take over the House, Congress. Why can't he just be an American? You see, this nation was established, it's right in our Constitution, that it's a republic. And we have a democratic process comprised of being able to vote our elected officials into office. It's real simple. Who cares about if you're a Republican or a Democrat? What matters is if you're an American and you love life, liberty, justice, and the pursuit of happiness more than anything. And you will do everything in your power to support, defend, and protect those liberties. We'll continue on later. Thanks for stopping by again. Until next time, be an American.